Well, it being a little past 7:30, I guess I'll open the meeting. For everybody's information, the meeting is being recorded. So, let's see, I don't have Ryan yet. I suppose I can do the motions for the minutes, huh?
Honestly, don't know. Do you need someone else to do it for you, or can you make the motions for the minutes?
No, there's see if Jeremiah wants to do the motions for the minutes, motion for the minutes for Jeremiah. Do you want to do the motion for July 18th, 2023 minutes?
Oh, yeah, happy to. Just give me 1 second to pull up the motions.
It's not listed.
It's not there.
Oh, okay.
Want me to just say it? I
Yeah,
can.
just move to accept the minutes of July 18th, 2023. Or so moved.
I move to approve the minutes of the July 18th meeting. Sorry. Was that the right one?
Yes.
Do I have a second? Yeah,
Sure, I got a second.
all right. So I have a motion in a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye, and we roll call. I'll call Jeff
Aye.
and Jeremiah.
Aye.
And myself is aye. Ryan says that he's on, but he's not coming in. He's not coming in, so the audio isn't coming through.
Oh, Ryan says he's on. Not sure why my audio isn't coming through, not muted on my end.
He's not.
Oh, he's
His
trying to.
audio is not coming through.
Oh, that's that. Okay, this is Ryan. This number here. Okay, we just can't hear him. We see him, but we can't hear him.
So is he, maybe he's muted himself?
That's possible. I don't think there's anything on our end, because I think everything else can be heard. Is the volume down on your computer?
Hello now.
Hi, there you are. All right.
Hey,
Before, we have four. Wonderful.
hi.
Okay, just a quick note, for you, Ryan, because I know we spoke earlier, the 17 Anthony Road and Havel Street's gonna be, extended. It's gonna be, we're not gonna vote on it tonight, so. Just so you know, because I know we had a concern about that. Okay, let's do, the 146, 150 Park Street, the minor modifications. Is that you, Peter?
Yeah, I believe Brad Blake was going to be on Zoom as well. Is he in there or?
Oh, I see someone coming in.
I didn't know if he wanted to make a little introductory remark or not, that's all.
No, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I understand what it did.
It is, I can explain it then, and Joe is here to put up the plans.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And we brought handouts too, but I guess you're the only one, so you can have them all. Basically, if you
You knew
recall,
that if anybody was gonna be here, I would be.
I would know that actually.
Actually, is it the same version of the plan that we had? Because I actually had it pulled up already, so, oh, you know,
It's
it's right
this
here.
colored one that shows the changes that
Oh.
we're doing, right?
This one was last file here. Oh,
So basically, if you recall, when we came to the site plan originally, we got 5 parking spaces, which we indicated were in the setback, which was in violation of the zoning, and we intended to go before the Board of Appeals. We did so, and the Board of Appeals was not excited about granting a variance on a new project like this, and asked us if we could go back and take a look at it and see what we might be able to do that wouldn't require one. And we did so, and we came up with a new layout, which I think has a lot of advantages, but we'll take a look at it and see what you think as a board. In any event, this chart that you're seeing is, shows the old layout that we had in red. And if you recall, it had that kind of awkward entrance from the Park Street in order to accommodate the site distance and the site plan. The blue shows the new alignment that we have, and in order to eliminate the 5 spaces down at the bottom of the site there, which were the ones that were in violation, and come up with the requisite number of spaces required to service both the McLean House and also the senior housing, we needed to pick up those 5 spaces someplace, and we did so by changing the geometry of the parking on either side of the entrance roadway. We picked up 1 space on the left-hand side, as Joe's indicating now, and 2 spaces on the right. Well, 2 spaces there as well, Joe. In any event, that all sums up to 5. So there are 5 spaces now in the main parking lot that makes us still meet zoning. The redesign was submitted to the Deputy Chief Galvin, who's the safety officer in the town, and he had some questions, and I had an opportunity to take a look at the site plan with him and meet with him by telephone today. I was going to meet with him in person, but he pulled out the old notes that he had. We went over the site plan, and he was okay with the turning radius plan that we submitted for the pumper, which was the standard previously. Right. And then we had some discussion about moving the hydrant, and I think you might have mentioned that to either the Danielle or maybe just some people here in town hall. In any event, we decided that the hydrant was in the best place where it was now in the site plan originally, so that's not moving, so that's not a change. Joe has got over on the right-hand side of the plan, he coded the changes. There are a number of little alignment changes and so forth that are coded over here. I can run down if you want, but I think it's pretty obvious what we did.
Yeah, I would say that I would agree that it improves the access, the entranceway is improved by doing this to some extent.
I like it better.
It looks like a more direct, as opposed to having to go in and then curve back, it's kind of a direct entrance in. So,
Yeah, no,
In retrospect, we like it better. We're trying to figure out why we didn't figure that out before,
yeah.
but here we are.
Well, you get caught up trying to fix one thing and forget about the other thing until you have to go back and fix it. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. I agree that it's a much more straightforward entrance. So.
Yeah, and Tom Miner is here, who's the landscape architect, and we can put up his plan. Do you want to address the board with any of your changes in this site?
It's maximized.
Just right in on that entry, Joe.
Yep. I'm trying at least.
Hopefully. There we go. Great.
Yeah, the realignment and the changing of the parking and the island just necessitated some moving around the shrubs and light poles. You can see there's four green giant arborvitaes right along the base of the wall there. Those are quick growing columnar evergreens that'll quickly provide some screening along that property line. On top of the wall, we've got some flowering trees and some shrubs to soften the wall in that space and give us some entry landscaping. And then we just shifted shrubs around in the island. If you can go up to the top a little bit, you can see we've changed that island there, and we had to we've added stuff there, and we just had to move that berm in front of the parking. Those 1, 2, 3, 6 spaces there in front of at the front of the parking lot. And, that's, pretty much it. It was just a matter of, just making use of, the space that we had allocated.
I think that basically explains it. Is Brad on or not?
I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Do you have anything you want to add? Did you hear the presentation?
I'm sorry, I was late getting in. I think we outlined in our letter how it is our opinion that the relocation of these parking spaces actually is an improvement for those who are using the parking spaces, avoiding vehicles backing out into the main driveway, pedestrians having to cross the main driveway. So it's our belief that this is really an enhancement of the overall plan. As Tom showed, this also encourages greater screening for the site itself. So, that's the only addition I'd like to make.
So I guess we need a vote of the board for a minor modification, Brad?
That's correct. We respectfully request that the board would vote approving the change as a minor modification. And then I'm sure Danielle would file with the town clerk that what she feels is appropriate.
Well, and if the board votes it this evening, I'll provide however many full-size copies you need. It's just one, because it's how many sheets did Joe, 11 or something? 10. Okay, well, we'll provide you one with stamped copies if it's voted tonight.
All right, I want to make sure see if there are any questions from the board itself. So, do you have any questions, Ryan?
No, I'm in favor of the improvements. I agree. I think
Joe?
they could
Joe,
possibly
Ryan,
impact.
how about you?
No, I agree. It seems like an improvement.
Okay, Jeff, you all set?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay. Okay, then, Ryan, do you have any motion? Do you have the motion?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. You do the 146, 150 Park Street.
Mr. Pierce, I move the Community Planning Commission vote to grant the requested minor modifications and approve the site plan entitled Site Plan 1818 on the Common Senior Housing Facility, 146 to 150 Park Street, North Reading, Mass. 01864, dated August 23rd, 2022, revised October 31st. Is that right? 2023, drawn by Hayes Engineering, Inc., with the conditions as noted in the minor modifications approval letter dated September 19th, 2023, as amended this evening.
No, it can't be, it's not October 31st yet.
Yeah.
Say again, I don't hear that.
It is not October 31st.
No,
yet.
it's not, Lauren.
So it says
The August?
October 31, 2023. Should that be August 31?
No, it's not.
Do you have the plan there, Joe?
Can you do on the thumb drive?
Well, we got it on the thumb drive, we can check. That's the typo.
Oh, yeah.
What's the date on it?
We amended the full set of plans, but,
That was that we had for their files.
What is that last revision up there? All right, I figured out it's like old control in the middle mouse. That is a typo. The February 28th should have been August 28th.
August 28th, okay. Let's change that motion to August 28th.
we'll change that with the set that we bring up then.
All right, thank you. August 28th will be the date of the plan we're approving. They're going to date it when they give us the copy.
And all the sheets have that revision date, Joe.
Okay, and Ryan, the actual final revised date is August 28th. So I assume your motion still holds?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Seconded.
A second by Jeremiah. All those in favor, call roll call. Jeff
Aye.
and Ryan,
Aye.
Jeremiah,
Aye.
myself as I, the 4 in favor, no opposed. David Love is not here tonight. So, you are all set, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you for your
everyone.
consideration.
Greatly appreciate it.
Good to see you all again.
Yeah.
Before you go, do you know how to get back to the picture of this? I just can't get straight back. Thank you.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
these maybe.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Who second?
Yes, who seconded that motion?
I did. Jeremiah.
Jeremiah did, okay.
Thank you.
We have a few minutes before we can get to our,
Thank you.
Happy
nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you.
thanks, Bruce, make it pretty.
We will.
I know you will.
We will. All right, take care.
Oh, is that what? Oh, you're.
That was here.
Was it here?
Oh, no, you know what, the next guy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Is that here?
I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never seen it before.
Okay, we don't have any ZBAs tonight. No ZBA. And imagine we can have let's do the Amber Road discussion. Up next. Your Amber Road?
Yeah. Brendan can present if you show plan. Do that. I have a plan that I can bring up. Do you want to look at the plan, hard copy?
I probably have it in my, do I? Yeah, I don't.
I can talk through it if you want to look at this.
So I don't think the first state name, so that.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, because for the recorder, the recorder is blind.
Yeah, John Bobrick Engineering Construction. We're here to present a second preliminary discussion of an Amber Road area subdivision. So last we left off, we were evaluating the existing permits and we had an open discussion about where the project can go. And ultimately, we've done our research and found that utilizing the DCR roads with the town's intention of taking them over really wasn't feasible in an appropriate timeline for the project. So we are moving forward on the option that you have in front of you. And then Brendan's get it.
Brendan, are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, let me try to do that right now.
If you're not able to, just let me know. I think it's enabled for you.
Just so everybody else can see.
I just did. It should have come through.
Great. Thanks.
Yep.
Perfect. So, previous discussions and submittals with this project with previous ownership had a subdivision more or less going through the Y that you can see, which is the DCR owned access roads, which these three parcels have the right to pass over in the deed. So what we're looking at now is a 22 lot layout with two separate roads that will be transferred to the town. This is an open space concept with roughly half-acre lots. There are conventional septic systems to be installed. You have one wetland crossing on a lower road. We'll just talk about like the north and the south roads. So the south road is approximately 885 feet, which is a little bit over the 500 foot looping water main requirement. Looping the water main and having the town own the water main would require a land transfer on the DCR property. So it's part of that non-feasible aspect of those paper streets of Amber Road and Priscilla Way. So that's why we have this laid out as this. So there'd be two separate dead ends with two dead end water mains, hydrants at the end, typical. We do have a couple of reduced frontage lots in a row, 5, 6, and 7. We just wanted to point that out. That's on the top road, the north road. So that layout has two hammerhead lots more or less at the end of it. And what those are is the cul-de-sac stops short of the DCR paper street so that the town doesn't have any, land swap issues. And the deeded right goes with the property ownership to pass and repass that paper street. So that's why we have two more or less shared driveways right next to each other right there with the two hammerhead lots. With lots 5, 6, and 7. So I just want to make everybody aware of, the layout and what we are looking to accomplish with this project. Get some feedback. And the other aspect of the open space layout that we're showing is the ratio of open space to floodplain wetland is 33% ratio. As you can see, there's a good amount of wet territory through the center of this project that we're staying out of. Especially with not utilizing those paper streets, we are, instead of in the no build zone, we're outside of most of that, except for a few small areas. So, yeah, looking for feedback from the board. We're undergoing the design and working on some test pits over the next month for the septics, for the parks. We already have a lot of soil data in the area, so we know it's successful.
Well, I have some questions for you.
Sure.
So the access to this is going to be this south road, the 885 road.
Yes.
That's access. This road that it shows up here, is this the existing road that goes out, that would be going out to the
Yeah, that's a DCR paper road.
yeah, and that goes out to the Ives Forest down here?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so that's, you're not building that road?
Correct. It has been cleared and gravelled by the previous ownership.
Yeah, so that's gonna remain a gravel road,
Correct.
so maintenance to that would be up to DCR?
Correct.
You're aware of that, right?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a wetlands crossing. If you took a left and went down Priscilla, that's been mostly cleared.
Yeah.
That we're working with DCR on.
And so that road here is also just,
Some of it's prepped, and the wetland is a little bit cleared.
has it been crossed?
It has not,
Okay,
but it needs to be fixed up and kind of put back together.
so your only real wetland crossing is this on the south road?
Correct. And we've discussed that other area with Concom,
Yeah.
and there's a superseding order with the original layouts.
Yeah.
So she is aware of what our intentions are.
So you're gonna do compensation land, or are you just gonna use this as put a crossing in there for?
Put a small culvert,
Access.
a small culvert crossing access road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In the town standards.
Right, like up to a certain number of square feet, you can do that.
Yeah.
For access. So this road and that road, the actual, what gives you access to these, this goes off of Charles Street
Correct.
and,
That's off of 7 Charles.
7 Charles. Is there enough room for this to be done and leave 7 Charles there or?
There is not.
Yeah, so 7 Charles will disappear?
Yes.
Okay, that creates a piece of land here that, would need to be maintained or planned for maintenance of that piece of land on either side of that access.
It would be part of the open space ratio development.
Mhm.
So it'd be part of the regular town owned portion of the property once we're complete.
Okay. Still probably require, as a roadway there with side zones, gonna require some level of maintenance, at least some distance off the roadway.
Yeah, there's also gonna be a stormwater management plan that's gonna be part of this, and we have to size some basins, so I think I'm gonna have some stormwater management up there too.
Okay, well, just keep in mind that we'll be looking for some level of maintenance on this, and, you know, a lot of times it's whatever the abutting properties take care of some of this maintenance. But I'd like to know who's gonna take care of that. Your site distances down here, have you just kind of roughed those out, for the South Road?
Correct, yeah, we roughed them out, they roughly work, and we'll be doing the full analysis of that as part of the submittal.
Okay, so that South Road was attempted at some point. And it was necessary to acquire some property to make it work, because I think the lot line kind of ran through the middle of what they tried to do there. How do you solve that problem?
Well, I'll have to look at that further, look at that more, to see what
Put that
exactly.
roadway in there, you're either gonna make this non-conforming or take property from the, I know there was an attempt to get property from the adjoining property there.
Yeah, can you point to that?
Yeah, we're right here,
Yes. Yeah.
South Road.
Mhm. Yeah, so the property line that goes along right here.
Yeah.
The road will be right on that.
You, what's your frontage? You sold your 160 here?
Yes. Over here.
But they couldn't do it before. I forget why. It was short by some number of feet unless there's been some property added on here. From before. Another thing is I noticed you don't show the roundings.
Yeah, we gotta finesse it and finalize the design.
You're gonna have to put the roundings in. No, that'll be no problem off of Charles Street. You have plenty of space up there.
Oh, yeah.
But the one coming off of Hazel Street, that I know that was attempted before, and there are a number of issues, and that's just one of them.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you don't make this lot here non-conforming in the process of putting that roadway in. And there's already been some disturbance back here. I think we talked about that already. There's an order of conditions for that wetland there.
Correct.
Because some unpermitted work was done there, shall we say.
Where it's point to that, Norm? Say that one time.
Where this wetland is up here, there was some work done up here,
There was, okay.
yeah. And they got stopped by conservation, so I'm not sure.
I'll have to look into that, I'll have to
I'm not sure how original this area is, I think, because you probably took this off the map, off the wetland map.
Yeah,
And again, it's been disturbed, so you're gonna wanna take a look at that to see what was disturbed. Conservation will be a good resource for that. I'm sure they have an order that.
Didn't we look at that? So Joe Mann, I'm helping out. Didn't we look at that order of conditions?
yes.
Yeah, we have.
There's an order, but he's saying on outside of that roadway was
Oh,
another issue closer to the abutting property.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I can take a look.
yeah. So that was
They
maybe
went
something.
in there and they started cutting trees and doing stuff without any permit from conservation.
Okay,
Right, that was one. And I think too.
So there was a
that
stop work order.
okay.
with the prior owner.
Yes.
I think we even talked about that a little bit, but it had nothing to do with the actual, what John ended up doing in the subdivision. I think too, that site distance issue might have been because there was some concerns, remember, about where the right of way was?
Yeah, that, the right of way issue, and then the rock out problem.
Yeah, so it wasn't necessary, I apologize, Joanne, it wasn't necessarily that he didn't have the right to do it, I just think there was some allegations that where the property owners abutted, and I think that got cleared up, that's why.
There was an attempt to get the property owner of the adjoining property on the south side to give up some land in order for them to get the roadway in.
We talked about that too, but that's not necessary, and it was something about where the right of way actually was, where the town's right of way from the street was, and where the other person's property was. So you'll look at it again, but I remember us going through that conversation as well, and that issue is no longer the case.
Yeah, so all right. Because I've looked at this property for many years, so I have
It's come forward a couple
a
times.
lot of experience with
We want this to go away this time.
Yeah, well, you know, all we ever wanted was for it to be done right. So
Yeah.
if you're doing it, if you're gonna do it right, we're here to support that.
That's why we're here.
Okay. All right, I'm just trying to make you aware of some of the things I know about the property, so,
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna see if the rest of the board has any questions. They don't have the opportunity to look at a plan easily as this, so kind of have an advantage on them.
Right.
So that's, so from the board, Jeff, do you have any questions or issues with this plan that are at this point? Remember, this is just a preliminary discussion.
You know what? Actually, I'm kind of curious about one of the southern lots, or actually two of them, and it looks like the wetlands is in those lots. Is that being addressed?
Yeah, I understand his question. He's talking about on the off the south road, lot 22 and lot 14 both have wetlands in them, and he's wondering if that's been addressed with conservation. Those lots have to go to conservation.
They do have to go to conservation, yes.
Yeah, so both can go to conservation, Jeff, for their approval.
And Jeff, I don't know your last name, sorry. Mr. Griffin, yes, this plan is, we've gone over this with conservation, and she's aware of the project and the layout and the buffers that we will be encountering. And there's 5 notice of intents that needed to be put forth with after the project is approved.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you for just a moment. Are people here for the Anthony Road?
You're waiting for this.
Okay, just making sure, because we have, they're gonna continue, so we're not, I don't want anybody to sit here and do another hearing, so I'm sorry. Okay, you all set, Jeff?
One other thing too, on the northern side of this project, so at the end of the cul-de-sac, so that right there, it's Summer Green. That's actually paper road. And then what they're proposing is entry to the 2-7, and I can't see what that is. Yeah, right there. So they're okay, so they're extending the cul-de-sac through over a paper road in order to get those other 2 pieces of property to become a part of this. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the cul-de-sac will stop short of the paper road so that the town can take possession of the road without having a land swap issue with the state. And then we will have those 3 reduced frontage lots in a row there, 5, 6, and 7 right there. And with 6 and 7 crossing the paper road, which is the deeded right to that area.
Okay, and I'm sorry, it's just thank you for zooming in on this. If that was you, Danielle, thank you. I can finally see it. So in lot 6, it looks like frontage, like off the cul-de-sac. Is that where your frontage is actually coming through that small portion there?
Correct. Yeah, so those are the reduced frontage lots that'll be in a row.
Also 50 and 50 at the end of it.
Because you own both sides, so you own the spot.
Is that, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm good right now. Thank you.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more detailed plan right now. We're just trying to give them as much direction as we can. So Ryan, do you have any questions or for this plan at this point?
Yeah, and I apologize. I also the trouble viewing the plan, but I do see the overall space plan. Is the size of the homes noted on the plan?
Not yet.
Well, we actually put, John, we had put some rough sizing on there.
Just curious, order of magnitude of these.
The majority of
Scale
them
with
are
the
30
smaller
by
lots?
60. Oop, go ahead, sorry.
I was just curious if there's a scale with the smaller lots, or if these are more typical, 3,000-foot colonials like we're seeing on most lots in town now.
So the majority of them are 30 by 60s. On some of the lots that there are buffer zones and things like that, the homes were adjusted accordingly to 30 by 50 or 30 by 40, but the majority of them are 30 by 60 footprints.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and regarding sidewalks, I assume, is this intended to be conforming in terms of sidewalks on both sides of the roads? Or is there a different standard here, Warren?
I didn't quite make that up.
I couldn't quite make that out either.
The question was regarding sidewalks on these two cul-de-sacs.
Oh,
Oh, the setbacks, side setbacks. Which I would have to actually look to see what the requirement is in OSRD. I don't remember what the side setback requirement is.
So I believe the interpretation is if you are abutting an existing lot that you need to conform to the full setback, but if you're on an interior lot of the open space development, you can shrink the setbacks by 50%.
Sorry, not setbacks, sidewalks.
No.
Sidewalk. Oh, sidewalk. I'm sorry, I said sidewalk. Sidewalks.
We haven't even designed that yet.
yeah, we haven't gotten to that level yet.
Yeah.
Okay, just noting particularly on the southern lot, the southern roadway, where it intersects Haverhill Street, our existing new sidewalk is on the opposite side of the road. So just in terms of connectivity, just something to think about when we're designing here.
Probably one of the things you would do is, again, you got to get roundings in here too, so you got some work to do, but once you did, it may be a good place for a crosswalk and a sign and flashing light or something. Because you're gonna have a lot of people that will want to get to the sidewalk over here because it goes all the way down to the town, all the way downtown, so.
Yeah, and we had the one-stop meeting with, the fire department, the police was represented there, and they were saying how North Street is, kind of an issue, high traffic zone. So we were gonna push that further with them and see, what they were thinking for some traffic calming.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you all set then, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Jeremiah, have you any questions on this?
Yeah, because one thing I noticed that's missing from our prior discussion on this area is the idea of having the parking spots for access to the state park. So that seems under this approach of that wouldn't be an element of the plan.
Yes, that's correct. So we're working with DCR on how they prefer to leave the paper streets with this. So with the layout that we're showing, we're not touching those, as you see. So that is to be determined.
Okay, yeah, so just there was a discussion at one point about creating at the end of this road, at the end of this paper street, a parking area. But of course, there were people on both sides of it saying that it also created a location that was in the dock that could be, used for nefarious purposes or something. So they would not. There was people on both sides. I wonder if leaving it just the way it is maybe not the best way.
What discussion was that?
On what?
I mean, this is my backyard, so I'm very curious to know what nefarious purposes are happening in my backyard.
Well,
I mean, that's
you created a place where you get 5 or 6 cars to congregate in one place. Kids could come in
Throughout the southern part of Harold Parker, throughout those neighborhoods and streets, are multiple areas where people park and access the park. So do we have a problem in town where people are misusing these spaces that the neighbors should be concerned about? Or is this kind of a convenient, just like, let's, you know, I don't know. That seems disingenuous to me, to be honest.
Well, I'm just saying that was what the discussion was, because there was an original offer to create the parking spots back there. That was on the prior owner when he made his presentation. He said he was going to create some parking spots there for people to use to access the forest. And there was questions about because it's so far out there unlit. So that was the discussion. So it was never brought to
And we
fruition.
provide lighting. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, Harold Parker is an asset of this community, and it seems like the southern portion of that park is underutilized in the planning of these subdivisions. So, I mean, that's merely my opinion, but I'm disappointed because I was excited at that prospect of using this gateway into that part of the park in a real positive for the rest of the community. And now it's just going to be another 2 dead-end streets that nobody gets to enjoy except for the people who live there. So to me, this is negative.
Well, that decision hasn't been made yet. As I said, this is a preliminary plan, and when we look at something.
I'm sure in my preliminary opinion.
So when we get a more definitive plan, we can see what they've decided to do with it, and you know, we'll get to discuss it more at that particular point. Because like I said, everything's not shown on this plan. It's as I said, it's preliminary. So. Okay. Anything else you'd like to bring forth? I mean, I think we've given you a little bit of direction anyway.
Yeah, this is great. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Hang on.
I don't know if it's out of order for me to input
This is not. It's not a public hearing. This is an informal hearing. So
the Amber Road is supposed to go to the right and Priscilla to the left. I think they changed the name. The one going to the right, is it all the way to Amber Road? It's all called Amber Road, correct?
Yeah, correct.
I thought the registered reversed the name.
Not that I'm aware of.
no, not that I'm aware of either. So.
Okay, just make sure.
Okay, good. All right. Very good. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Warren,
Want that?
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
Across from North, on this plan, yeah, right over there, it does not show. I know that there's a property in there somewhere.
When you
is
go
it-
down the left, there's a house in there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there is a property.
okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do see it there. Okay, I gotcha. Is and one other quick question. I know this is the beginning of, you know, the beginning phase. So Woodland Drive, like for access for all your equipment and things that are going to move in and out of there, what are you guys planning on doing? You planning on paving the streets and then using that stuff, or are you planning on using the paper roads for access to moving your equipment around and things like that? Just curious.
Our intention is to not use Woodland Drive or Amber Road at all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think that's wisdom. So.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Being past 8 o'clock, we have a continued public hearing for 66 Winter Street.
Good evening. I don't know where to go. I guess here. It's so strange. Hi, everybody on Zoom, right? Here's Jill Mann here on behalf of Sign Art Inc., the applicant in connection with site plan approval for the redevelopment of the property located at 66 Winter Street. We are happy to report that we have received final sign-off from GM2 relative to the peer review. There were a couple of items listed that were new items by Steve Sawyer, who is professional engineer from GM2. And it's simply that we ensure, and I believe that Ms. McKnight included that in the decision, that we ensure that a 12-inch outlet not create any sort of erosion. And we clearly have not added anything like that to the plan because it's about being on the site and then during construction. So we obviously, understand that that's a condition and think it's a smart condition. We have basically agreed to all the general conditions that are typically in North Reading's requirements.
Approval now.
Yeah, exactly. And as you know, this project is being developed. So there was one comment, I don't know if anybody noticed, it was an odd comment. It was one that said that 64 Winter Street had improvements on our property, but I think there might have been confusion because I don't think the assessors yet caught up with the transfer that occurred when the owner of both properties created an A&R plan, subdivided 64 and has 66. We, as the proponents of 66, have a full site plan approval. I am unsure of what approvals were sought by the current owner of 64, and there might be some confusion about what that owner is doing. But Luke can certify that we are only doing work on that property that is within the four corners of 66. And then Ms. McKnight and I actually discussed it and basically came to that agreement as well. And I believe there really are no lingering comments at all from TEC. Luke had addressed every one of them in his final responses, updated the stormwater, made a couple of changes to the plan. The one thing that actually Steve Sawyer brought up that we had addressed and discussed at the last meeting was yet again that pedestrian issue. Mr. Sawyer didn't even want to see the pedestrian crossings across the driveways. We had painted them as we had represented to the board that we would do. We actually showed him on the plan, and Mr. Luke did do that. But Steve McKnight has suggested, how do you like that for blended? Steve Sawyer is suggesting that we do not actually put those pedestrian crosswalks across the driveways. He thinks that it will cause pedestrians to not walk in the normal course, which will be behind the buildings around and then to Heavenly Donuts. So I offer that to the board for a discussion point as to whether or not you want us to remove the painted crossing marks or you would like them to stay on the plan. And that really kind of sums it up.
Danielle, I know you talked a little bit about putting a couple things in the draft conditional approval to address the issues that GM2 brought up.
I did. Everything that they had identified as an outstanding condition, I put in as a condition of approval in that draft. The way that I dealt with the painted pedestrian areas was I can actually pull this up and read it.
So these items that you put in there are these items that Luke has already is now addressed.
Everything.
In other words, they can stay in there because they've been addressed, but
everything can stay in there. Well, no. Some of them, one of them has to do with after construction verification of compliance with, stormwater standard. Another one, I'll just pull up the condition.
Thanks, Dean.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so these conditions are the ones from GM2. I've just written, the applicant shall notify the North Reading Town Engineer and Planning Department upon installation of the 12-inch outlet and flared-end section. The town, and if applicable, their designated engineering review agent shall coordinate the installation of any erosion control measures between the 12-inch outlet and Winter Street. I just wanted to make sure that was performing properly, and they said that that's just not something, like it's something that's gonna have to be confirmed in the field. They can't really do it beforehand. As far as the pedestrian route, I had just written a revised sheet C3 of the plan shall be submitted for review and approval by the CPC and their consulting engineer to show revised or eliminated painted pedestrian route guidelines so that pedestrians are not directed to the road shoulder. This can be adjusted depending on whether you want them or not, or if you just want to see them for revision for final approval, we can leave it in the way it is. I just wasn't sure what you would want to do with those. And then the final one was a revised sheet P3 of the plans, shall be revised with a note indicating that the garage operates as a one-way through with trucks entering from the rear of the building and exiting out the front. I think that is how it had been presented, but I think the consulting engineer just wanted it to be clear on the plan.
And we have definitely agreed to all of those items.
So, as far as the walkway goes, I think that's the only thing really that's in question right now. And I don't know, I know that we're gonna have a divider between two properties with somehow a live wall type divider, but we'll have an opening. People
We definitely have an opening and it's.
Because at 64, there are, what, 8 garages there?
Oh, there are a number of garages.
And there's all those garages.
I think there's 5 or 6, but you know.
5 or 6, yeah. And there are a number of people working in and out of those garages and all the, you could say there's at least 2 to 3, so we're talking 18, 20 people that may want to walk over to the coffee shop there. And how are they going to get there? I mean, they're probably going to go through whatever opening in that wall there is, and then they're going to walk across the parking lot or in some particular place.
And what we're assuming they're going to do, what Steve thinks they're going to do, is actually, instead of coming here, coming around and go, he thinks they're going to come in and do this and then walk where everybody in this particular complex walks, come in, come around, come down and out, or even come this way.
Yeah.
So he said, you know what, it's better not to send them down here and across.
My experience is they'll take the path of least resistance.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
right down the middle of our parking lot.
There you go. And so the thing that I mean, I'm not a big fan of the painted walkway going down there, but I don't see a better option. Because it gives them a definitive place to walk, and it gives the people driving vehicles in and out a definitive place to look out for people.
Mhm.
And so that's the only concerns I have. I mean, other than that, I don't, if you got a better idea then I'd certainly love to hear it, but I think that's my primary concern.
We most certainly show them and the Spinneys were most certainly willing to put them in. So as far as that goes, they're on our plan.
Yeah. Well, I think I probably, I'll ask the rest of the board what they think, but I think I would like to see it there. And if they don't use it, as the snowplow slowly grind it away, don't put it back.
Very true.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Jeff, do you have any comments or questions on this plan?
The only thing I was thinking was, I know we talked about a live wall between the two properties, which is a good idea. Is that, and will it be what's proposed at all obstructive to vision and sight lines for anybody driving through that section? Or have you guys already figured that one out?
We already thought about that. It doesn't obstruct any vision. All it does is allow the two property owners to maintain separation. And you'll read, I don't know what page to go to, yeah. And the property owners thought it best had to be live. It just was softer, but you can see where the trees, this is where the live wall basically ends. And then you have smaller trees in the front, but it doesn't impact sight distance at all.
And we have a note on the sheet about plantings within a certain distance of the street line have to have a maximum height. We can't have trees, certain height trees and shrubs within, I think it's
Well, you already have a banking on the east side that
within 10 feet of the pavement of the curb.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way the banking goes up on the east side of that, you already have a little bit of a thing, so you gotta be careful sticking your nose out there anyway.
It's definitely, looking to the west or looking to the east, there's plenty. It's well over 500 feet from both openings.
Yeah.
It's looking towards Main Street. That's
Right.
somewhat limited, but we put some language in the response to also noting that the vehicles coming from the intersection are just starting to accelerate up that, hill that's in that area.
Right.
So they're not at the 35 mph design speed, so.
Okay. You all set, Jeff?
Thank you.
Okay, Ryan, have any comments on this?
No, no additional comments. I think it looks great.
Okay, thank you. Jeremiah?
Nothing else from me, and I think it's a good idea to leave the current markings on the plan.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
So I'll just leave that condition in place. I mean, I'm sorry, I'll remove that condition so that we leave the markings in place.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I think at least initially, it'll help direct people. Okay, this is a continued public hearing. Does anybody from the public have any comments or questions on that? On this particular project?
I'm not here for this.
Well, here,
No comment.
I will, hearing that, I will close the public hearing on 66 Winter Street at this time. And I'll call for a vote. If Brian, you have the minutes, the motions on you?
I do. Give me a moment, pull it up here.
Yes, if you would, please, for 66 Winter Street.
Mr. Pierce, I move the Community Planning Commission vote to approve the plan entitled Site Plan 66 Winter Street, Town of North Reading, Mass. Assessors map 24, parcel 49, dated May 24th, 2023, revised September 1st, 2023, drawn by LJR Engineering Inc., subject to the terms and conditions of the certificate of conditional approval dated September 19th, 2023, as amended this evening.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Seconded.
Okay, seconded by Jeremiah. All those in favor, please say aye. I'm going to roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
And Ryan?
Aye.
And Jeremiah?
Aye.
And myself is aye. That's 4 in favor, no opposed. Mr. Rudolph is not with us. You are all set.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time tonight.
I thought that millions. Nobody would use the phone. You want.
I go right from behind, haven't we? Right on the property. Yeah, okay, with the. Okay, taking that building down or just going out.
Thank you very much.
And the big discussion is how do people get to the donuts out from the garage? Okay. My Lindsay. Good luck. Thank you. Am I meeting you, Ken?
Are you here, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, because we didn't have a full board tonight, they wanted to continue today.
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
What is your name?
Stephen Corset, 11 Anthony.
We tried to, yeah, we had a lot of email addresses, but we didn't have them all.
Okay, because I looked on the website and it didn't say anything, and I think I checked around 6.
You looked at the town clerk's website?
Yeah, and I just pulled it up. Oh, no, I looked at this clerk, I looked at the committee,
Community Planning Commission,
Yes.
you look on the green
I
side,
looked on the agenda.
you didn't put it on the, it was like in the column area.
Oh, right.
Just like as a note, yeah.
It said something about continue to 19th September. That's the only thing I saw. So I don't know what time it was changed.
It was changed early.
Sorry. I don't know what happened. I looked at the page number refresh fully or something, and I don't know. I'm sorry.
And I just looked again on my phone, but I did.
What is your, do you have an email? Cause
Sure.
that's what I did, I sent out emails, so.
Yeah. we can-
Yeah, it's SJCORSETTI
Mhm.
at hotmail.com.
I really apologize for
That's
that.
okay. I show up and they don't have them, and they don't show them, they have them.
So we hopefully will be seeing them.
I show up every time you got.
You're the only one here tonight. Yeah. It's a flooded mess down there today too. And Anthony, so, yes, anyway. Have a good night.
All right, thanks.
We have to make sure we do our continuance and the extension for Anthony.
All right, well, Ryan has he has the motion, so, Ryan, would you do my 17 Anthony Road, motion, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Pierce, I move the Community Planning Commission vote to, what do you have a date? We have a date for the, action?
Oh, so they've asked to, okay, to grant the requested extension of time. Until, so they have requested to extend the project until October 18th, 2023. And, and to continue the public hearing to October 3rd, 2023.
8 o'clock?
8 o'clock? Yeah, let's say 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't have it.
All right. 8 o'clock, okay.
Did I not do it right?
No, we just need to fill the time. Okay.
Okay, is that your motion, so say you?
I so move.
Okay, okay, I need a second.
Seconded.
Seconded by Jeremiah. All those in favor, Jeff
Aye.
and Ryan
Aye.
and Jeremiah?
Aye.
And myself, aye. But that's 4 in favor, no opposed. We are extended until the October 3rd, 123.
So extended till October 18th, continued till October 3rd. Yes.
It's hearing until October 3rd. Okay. The only thing we really have left is our planning administrator update. If you have one?
Sure, I was just going to let everyone know, Warren and I were at the select board meeting last night. They had their informational hearings on warrant articles. There were no questions or concerns about the Eaton Circle street acceptance, and the other article we have, 7 St. Teresa Street for redevelopment, for 1 or 2 units of affordable housing. They were very supportive of that. So that's great. They're supportive of it, and if town meeting passes that, then we'll be well on our way with that project.
They voted to recommend it, so I think that was a really good move, so. Because of course, Danielle did a great job explaining it all, so they just voted for it, so I.
Thank you. But yeah, so that was great. And as far as everything else, I just, other than town meeting being October 2nd, I didn't really have any other updates. We are continuing to work on the Charles Street.
So we don't really need to meet on the, or before town meeting, right? Because we just have the 2 articles, and we're in good shape on them.
That's right. There's no other meeting scheduled. Oh, so you meaning like the pre-town meeting?
Yeah,
right. We don't need to have it unless you all wanted to have one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's all.
Okay, that being it, then I will invoke chairman's prerogative, and I will close this meeting for now, for tonight. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you guys for showing in up on Zoom so we can get at least as much as we got done. Thanks very much.
It's there, Danielle. It is a little.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Hey, a quick question, Danielle, is there any issue with the wastewater meeting on the 18th?
I'm sorry, which meeting?
I'm trying to find it, and I've been looking through my emails. I want to say that the 18th
Of October?
wastewater meeting with Vincenzo and the committee.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been invited to that, so.
It may be predicated on what happens at October town meeting.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah.
If it gets a positive result, then they would have a meeting to begin to do a next step thing. But if it gets a negative response at town meeting, that may also be a meeting for next step.
Yeah, actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
October 18th was when it's scheduled for.
Yeah, you can check with Vincenzo,
Yeah.
you know, kind of spearheaded that to some extent.
Yeah, I actually got that email today, this morning. It seems that a lot of information we're waiting, blah, blah, blah. Moving the meeting to October 18th. Now, I don't know what time. He didn't put a time there. I know that in the past, well, the past meeting was like 7 p.m. or something. So I hope it doesn't conflict.
Oh, because of the hour meeting? Oh, okay, so our next CPC meeting, let's see, so we have, October 3rd is our next one, and then our next, meeting after that would be the 17th. So if they were looking at the 18th, that wouldn't be a problem. I'd be surprised if they scheduled one opposite the CPC meeting. I can ask. But yeah, our next two meetings are the 3rd and the 7th.
Okay, did we not just vote on having Anthony Road extended to October 18th?
Yeah, that's because we need a day to file the decision. If we were to vote at our meeting on the 17th, we need to file it. I like to have a little bit more time than that. One day is not a lot. That's what they ask us.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I guess that's it. I guess that goes up. Good night, Jeff.